It started with a tweet, a digital bomb that threatened to shatter American national security. What followed was a hidden war, a battle of wills that exposed the deepest secrets of Washington. The notification vibrated on phones across America, a digital decree from the throne of Truth Social. February 7th, 2025. President Donald Trump, back in the White House, wasn't one for formal press conferences anymore. He preferred his pronouncements raw, unfiltered, and guaranteed to ignite a firestorm. This one was a doozy. Huge news. Crooked Joe Biden. No more security clearance. No more briefings. Payback's a bitch, folks. Remember 2021? He started this. And that special counsel report? Elderly man. Poor memory. Can't trust him with our secrets. Joe, you're fired. The words hung in the digital ether, a virtual middle finger to decades of established protocol. Former presidents, regardless of party, had always retained access to classified information. It was a tradition, a courtesy, a recognition of their experience. It was also a vital link in the chain of national security, ensuring continuity and informed counsel. But traditions, in Trump's world, were made to be broken. Washington, D.C., already a simmering cauldron of political tension after the brutal 2024 election, instantly boiled over. The intelligence community, usually a silent, shadowy world, felt a collective tremor. This wasn't just about Biden. It was about the weaponization of secrets, the politicization of something that was supposed to be sacred. The unspoken fear was palpable. If clearances could be revoked on a whim, what couldn't be done? Captain James Riley Rett felt it too. He wasn't a political animal. He was a soldier, an intelligence officer, a patriot. Afghanistan, Iraq. He'd seen the worst of it, earned the scars, the medals, Bronze Star, Purple Heart, among others. He'd also served under Biden, witnessed the man's sharp mind, his unwavering focus, even under unimaginable pressure. The Sleepy Joe narrative was a convenient lie, and Riley knew it. But this wasn't about defending Biden. It was about defending the system. The integrity of the intelligence process, the apolitical nature of national security. These were the things Riley had sworn to protect. Trump's act wasn't just petty revenge. It was a calculated assault on the very foundations of American security. And Riley couldn't stay silent. He reached out to a contact at CNN, a journalist he trusted, a woman who wouldn't shy away from a fight. That evening, the nation watched as Riley, his face etched with concern but his voice steady, appeared on screen. The cheer screamed. Former intel officer, Trump's move reckless and dangerous. This isn't about politics, it's about survival, Riley began, his gaze locking onto the camera. President Trump's decision is a deliberate act of sabotage, a fabricated crisis designed to score political points. He's weaponizing national security, turning it into a tool for personal vendettas. He leaned forward, his voice gaining intensity. This jeopardizes everything. Every agent in the field, every informant risking their life, every analyst working tirelessly to protect this country. They all depend on the integrity of the system. Trump is tearing that down, brick by brick. He's sending a message to our enemies. America's secrets are up for sale. Our national security is a game. The interview went viral instantly. Hashtag integrity matters. Hashtag truth over Trump. Hashtag Riley speaks. The hashtags exploded. Riley's words resonated with a public exhausted by political theater, especially when it came to matters of life and death. He became a reluctant hero, a symbol of defiance against the creeping tide of authoritarianism. Of course, the backlash was vicious. Trump's loyalists attacked Riley relentlessly, branding him a deep state traitor, a disgruntled loser. But the momentum was on Riley's side. He had tapped into a deep well of unease, a fear that went beyond party lines. The White House couldn't ignore the inferno. Trump's advisors, initially smug, realized they had a major problem. The optics were devastating. A decorated war hero accusing the president of endangering the nation. Damage control was paramount. An invitation, more like a royal summons, arrived for Captain Riley. A private meeting at a secure White House facility. The stated purpose, to discuss his concerns. Riley knew it was a trap, a carefully orchestrated attempt to either silence him or co-opt him. But he accepted. He had to. The room was small, windowless, and suffocating. Trump, his national security advisor, and a handful of grim-faced aides formed a wall of power. Riley stood alone, facing them. Trump started, his tone surprisingly measured. "Captain Riley, we appreciate you coming in. We value your service. We want to hear your perspective." Riley didn't blink. "Mr. President, your actions are indefensible. You revoked Biden's clearance out of spite, not out of any genuine security concern. You've undermined the intelligence community, and you've put this nation at risk." Trump's jaw tightened. "I acted on the special counsel's report. Biden's mental acuity is questionable." "That report was a political hatchet job, Mr. President," Riley shot back, his voice rising. "And even if there were legitimate concerns, there are established procedures. You ignored them. You chose to make a public spectacle of this, to use it as leverage. You're playing with fire, Mr. President, and you're going to get us all burned." He continued, with fire in his voice. "Sentiment? Mr. President, sentiment isn't weakness. It's our strength. It's the glue that holds this fractious nation together. It's the belief that we're all striving for something bigger than our petty squabbles. You're tearing that apart. You're eroding the trust that's essential for this country to function. You're making a mockery of the sacrifices made by men and women who put their lives on the line for these secrets." Silence. The aides shifted uncomfortably. They'd expected a subdued, intimidated veteran. They hadn't bargained for this raw, unyielding defiance. Trump, for once, seemed taken aback. He was a master of manipulation, of reading people's weaknesses. But Riley wasn't playing a game. He was speaking from a place of deep, unshakable conviction. "You really believe that, Captain?" Trump asked, his voice almost soft. "Yes, sir, I do," Riley replied, his gaze unwavering. Trump leaned back, his expression unreadable. A flicker of something, respect, regret, crossed his face. It was gone in an instant, replaced by his usual mask of calculated ambiguity. "I might have overreacted," Trump conceded, the words seemingly ripped from him. "Your words, they hit hard. I see your point. Integrity. It's important." The next morning, the world woke up to another shockwave. Trump, again on Truth Social, announced a stunning reversal. After a very productive meeting with Captain James Riley, a great American patriot, "I've decided to reinstate Crooked Joe Biden's security clearance." Captain Riley made some powerful points. "I respect his service, his dedication. He's a true hero. But there was more, much more. And because I believe in rewarding courage, and because we need more people like Captain Riley in this administration, I'm appointing him as Deputy National Security Advisor. He'll keep the intelligence community honest and nonpartisan. Let's make America safe again, together." The announcement was followed by a hastily arranged press conference, where Trump, uncharacteristically subdued, praised Riley's unwavering commitment to truth and integrity. The political establishment was in a state of collective shock. The media went into hyperdrive. Analysts scrambled to decipher Trump's motives. Was this a genuine change of heart? A cynical ploy to regain control of the narrative? Or was it, perhaps, a fleeting glimpse of the leader Trump could have been, a leader who could admit mistakes and prioritize the nation's well-being over his own ego? The digital maelstrom that followed was even more intense than before. Hashtag Riley the Redeemer, hashtag Trump Unchained, used both sarcastically and sincerely, and hashtag Security Shakeup dominated the trending topics. The debate raged. Was this a genuine victory for principle, or a masterful act of political theater? Public opinion fractured along predictable lines, but with a crucial difference. Even some of Trump's staunchest supporters expressed cautious approval, acknowledging Riley's integrity and the importance of the issue. The skeptics, however, remained vocal, warning that this was a temporary truce, a strategic retreat before the next offensive. The media, predictably, went into overdrive. Every news outlet, from Fox to MSNBC, dedicated hours to analyzing the Riley effect. Pundits debated, experts dissected, and armchair analysts flooded social media with their theories. Editorials in major newspapers ran the gamut from cautious optimism, a glimmer of hope, to outright cynicism, the art of the deal, National Security Edition. The political fallout was immediate and far-reaching. On Capitol Hill, a rare bipartisan coalition began to coalesce. Senators and representatives, spurred by the public outcry and Riley's unwavering stance, convened emergency sessions to discuss legislation that would safeguard the intelligence community from future political interference. Conservative commentator Mark Reynolds, on Fox News, cautiously praised Trump's willingness to listen to a different perspective, while adding a caveat. This is a step in the right direction, but we need to see sustained commitment to these principles. On MSNBC, liberal analyst Sarah Thompson remained deeply skeptical. Let's not be fooled. This is a temporary reprieve, a tactical maneuver. Trump has weaponized national security, and one appointment won't change that. We need structural reforms, not just symbolic gestures. Inside the White House, the atmosphere was a volatile mix of relief, apprehension, and outright bewilderment. Those who had opposed Trump's initial decision, career intelligence officials like Director Carter and Special Agent Thompson, saw Riley's appointment as a potential lifeline, a chance to restore some semblance of order and integrity. But they also knew that Trump was a creature of impulse, and that loyalty, in his world, was a one-way street. Michael Lawson, a veteran intelligence analyst, a man respected for his wisdom and his unwavering commitment to the truth, took it upon himself to address his colleagues' anxieties. In a series of informal briefings, he emphasized the need for professionalism and resilience. "This has been a tumultuous time," Lawson acknowledged, his voice calm and reassuring. "But it's also a test. Captain Riley's appointment is unprecedented. But it's also an opportunity to reaffirm our commitment to our mission, to remind ourselves that we serve the nation, not any individual or party." But the most unexpected development was yet to come. A week after the initial firestorm, President Trump, in a move that defied all expectations, held a press conference, not to attack or boast, but to apologize. "I've made mistakes," he admitted, his voice lacking its usual bluster. "My decision to revoke Biden's clearance was driven by personal feelings. It was wrong. I allowed anger to cloud my judgment. I put the security of this nation at risk. And for that, I am truly sorry. I apologize to former President Biden, to Captain Riley, and to the American people." The silence in the press room was deafening. This wasn't the Trump anyone knew. This was contrite. Genuine? Perhaps. Calculated? Almost certainly. But the impact was undeniable. Later that day, Trump and Riley met again, this time in the Oval Office. The meeting was private, but a carefully worded statement was released afterward. Riley, reportedly, told Trump, "Mr. President, my only goal is to serve this country and to protect the integrity of our intelligence community. I believe in truth, in nonpartisanship, and in the principles that this nation was founded upon." Trump's response, according to the statement, was equally measured. "I understand the damage I've done, Captain. I'm committed to repairing it. I will work with you to ensure that this never happens again." The nation, battered and bruised by weeks of political warfare, collectively exhaled. Trump's apology, coupled with his genuine engagement with Riley, felt like a turning point. It wasn't a complete resolution, not by a long shot, but it was a start. Inspired by the events at the highest level, a wave of grassroots initiatives began to emerge. Communities organized town hall meetings, interfaith dialogues, and public forums to discuss the importance of national unity and the dangers of political polarization. Reverend Michael, the previously small-time organizer, became a near-national symbol. His interfaith services, now broadcast live from the White House lawn, became rallying points for reconciliation. The Riley effect extended beyond mere symbolism. Bipartisan commissions were established to review and reform security clearance procedures, crafting legislation designed to prevent future abuses of power. Within the White House, a new emphasis was placed on ethical conduct and transparency. Michael's Values and Vision workshops, initially a small-scale initiative, gained national prominence and were implemented across various government agencies. As the months passed, the national conversation evolved. The initial outrage and disbelief gradually gave way to a more nuanced and thoughtful discussion about the balance between security and accountability, between tradition and progress. Opinion pieces, academic studies, and televised debates explored the complex interplay of power, politics, and national security. The classified confrontation, as it became known, became a case study in political science, a cautionary tale about the fragility of democratic institutions and the importance of individual courage. Captain James Riley, thrust into the national spotlight against his will, became a symbol of integrity, a reluctant hero in a time of deep division. In a powerful op-ed published several months later, Riley reflected on the events that had shaken the nation. National security should never be a political football. True leadership is about putting the country's interests above personal gain, about safeguarding our shared values, about building trust, not tearing it down. The past few months have been a painful but necessary lesson. We must learn from our mistakes, and we must never take our democracy for granted. The classified confrontation left an indelible mark on American history. It was a reminder that even in the darkest of times, even amidst the most bitter political divisions, the principles of truth, integrity, and national unity could still prevail. Years later, the events of 2025 were studied, debated, and analyzed. Trump's initial decision, his subsequent reversal, and Riley's unwavering stance became a pivotal chapter in the ongoing story of American democracy. New protocols, born out of the crisis, ensured that national security remained, as much as possible, above the political fray. The Riley reforms, as they were nicknamed, became a testament to the power of one individual to challenge the status quo, to speak truth to power, and to inspire a nation to heal. The United States, scarred but ultimately strengthened by the experience, emerged with a renewed, if fragile, commitment to the values of empathy, transparency, and a shared dedication to the common good. The classified confrontation served as a constant reminder that the price of freedom is eternal vigilance, and that the pursuit of a more perfect union is a never-ending journey, a constant struggle to live up to the ideals upon which the nation was founded. The story became a legend, a whispered warning, and a beacon of hope, a testament to the enduring power of integrity in the face of overwhelming political pressure. It was a reminder that sometimes one person can make a difference, even against the most powerful forces in the world.